episode 488 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are super stoked for Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
It's impossible to say.
It is literally, it's
can't
a
be
full
said.
sentence. You can't say it in a
cannot
sentence
be
because
said.
it itself is a sentence. Or you're just like, hey, I'm enjoying this hot new standard format on Arena, like the environment. We are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, speaking of what can't be said, Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. I had to slow down there.
Yeah, you did.
Pump the brakes. We are going to be talking to none other than friend of the show, Judge Rob.
Oh, yeah.
About new cards in the set.
Yeah, all about some new cards and how they can go into Oathbreaker.
Yes.
Which is I would call it like a pared down Commander play experience.
Yeah, it's super fun.
We've had a really good time playing it. If you're like, what is Oathbreaker? You can see a video on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/goodluckhighfive.
Yes.
That is an Oathbreaker. Like, we play it. We play it with our friend Judge Rob and our friend of the show, Sam Eilenfeld.
Yeah.
And it's a really good time.
It's just a super fun multiplayer format that doesn't require you to shuffle 100 cards with your very tiny hands.
You know how strongly we feel about this.
And it can be played in about 45 minutes, so it's faster.
Yes.
It's still super, super fun. Rob will go over all the details with us. But if you're a Commander person, what's going to be really cool about this segment is he's built us 3 new Oathbreaker decks with new planeswalkers from Battle for Baldur's Gate, and you can easily adapt that into 100 cards for Commander if you want.
Nice.
So we're going to show you the Oathbreaker version, slimmed down, and also how you can upgrade it to full Commander if that's your jam.
Very spicy.
Yeah.
We're also going to have a story time.
Story time returns.
Catch up on what is happening on the streets of New Capenna.
I've loved the story so far.
Yeah, it's a really good time. And we're going to have, a little randomizer.
Little randomizer action.
But before we do any of that.
But first!
There are people to thank. First and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners of the show. Thank you so much to everyone who is a patron over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. It means truly the frickin' world to us.
Absolutely.
You hear that? I soft swore on the show to express
It's a soft swear.
I mean,
a swear without edges.
Yeah.
It's like a pillow at the night that's slightly mad at you. A soft swear.
I don't want a pillow to be mad at me. Maria, that's
suffocate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no.
Don't make a pillow angry, everybody.
Exactly. Or don't make it sentient.
Oh,
You
also
can make
very
it mad,
smart.
but still have it be inanimate. You can have an angry, inanimate pillow, or you can have a sentient but happy pillow. Okay?
Can it be inanimate and also be mad? Is mad a requirement to be animate?
Is being angry a requirement for being
To being sentient?
Do you know what I think it is? I think we
Anger?
can all at this point say that it is.
So this is where
Absolutely.
science needs to focus. If you're trying to make life, sentient life, focus
First,
on making it mad.
Make it mad. The reason why we haven't found definitive life on Mars is because no one has made Mars angry enough yet.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard it here first.
Make the planet
Make
mad.
Mars angry. Okay, thank you so much to new patron Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Michael, for becoming a new patron in the past week. It really does mean so very much to us.
We'll give you a shout out if you become a patron, everybody. Summer's a slow time for content creators,
Yes.
so please, if you're able, become a new member.
Summer. What a time.
What a time.
Everything heats up, but content creation support cools down. that was like what I literally set this up, but I did not have the follow through on it for a second.
We're also going to take a moment now to give you an update about our sponsor, Card Kingdom.
Yes. So as you might have heard, Card Kingdom employees, especially in the warehouses, are seeking unionization through you can see it on Twitter, Card Kingdom Union. They allege some workplace issues that they've been having. Among them, there were things like Card Kingdom dropping the mask mandate on its campuses, despite the fact that employees strongly encourage them not to, and feeling unheard by management in a lot of ways. And so, of course, we are always pro workers.
Yes.
And so we reached out to Card Kingdom to kind of be like, hey, what's going on with this? And while it hasn't been resolved yet, they let us know that they are waiting for there to be a union vote. They've taken steps to address some of the things that people had issue with, including raising wages by almost $1 or almost $2.
Yep.
For employees in all of the hourly employees, and reinstituting that mask mandate. And so we have always trusted Card Kingdom to be a great sponsor of Good Luck High Five. And right now we feel like we can also trust them to address these concerns of their employees in adequate ways. And so we look forward to hearing more and seeing more about how that gets resolved and letting you know also, because we want to recommend great companies to you.
Yeah. And the thing is when union stuff happens, it's I would say almost non-existent for somebody to say, hey, we trust this company to do the right thing. But honestly, if I was to ever say that about a company, it would be Card Kingdom.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we're not just saying that to just say it because they're a sponsor. We're like, they have
we
always done
legitimately
the right
only
thing.
have sponsors that we like.
Yes. So,
although we have been joking about a company that does keep emailing us that is not at all adjacent to Magic the Gathering. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet because I look forward to someday bringing you a very weird ad segment for a product that we personally know nothing about.
Yeah. They really want us to do
one.
one.
But right now, Card Kingdom, we have always liked working with.
Yeah, they've just been really good people over the years. So we'll keep you updated on what happens with the situation. But you can check them out on their website, cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Get anything you need from them. Fast shipping, great customer service, always true of them. So check it out.
All right, Maria, we haven't done a randomizer in a while.
Yes, I love the randomizer.
So I'm going to pull up a random card for you here.
Great.
Can't wait for you to look at this.
Ooh, oh boy.
All right.
The anticipation.
What a time. All right, Maria. Tell me what you see.
Ooh. What do I see?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to try my best, everybody.
That's all you can
This
do.
looks like if a goblin had a little poop and then it grew a head and horns and small arms and legs and came to life. It looks like, gosh, yeah, like an unformed baby goblin
It
animal.
looks like if a goblin was a tiny T-Rex.
Yeah, a tiny T-Rex goblin.
Yeah.
With a long pointy snoot and two long pointy horns, wearing a harness.
Yeah.
Amidst a burning landscape, a desolate landscape.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you described this as well as it can be described in words.
Everybody, you need to go look at
really,
this card
you just
art.
need a picture.
This is unbelievable. Okay.
Okay, Maria.
The name of this card is Goblin Baby Bing Bong.
Okay.
Just kidding.
The name of the card is Spur Grappler.
Oh, okay. So this
Spur
guy
Grappler.
grapples spurs. It's obviously red. It's 2 and a red for a 1/1, and you can pay to give it horsemanship.
I
That's
love
that's
it.
where spurs come in.
Yeah. Wow, you are exactly right on 2 and a red.
Ooh.
This is
felt it.
surprisingly not a goblin.
What?
It is a creature type beast. I
No.
think a grappler is apparently its own creature kind.
So, oh, really? So there's
Yeah.
other grapplers in Magic, maybe?
I don't know
We're gonna
that
have to
there
look.
are.
We gotta look into that.
It's a 2/1.
Okay.
For 3. Spur Grappler gets +2/+1 as long as you control no untapped lands.
Oh, interesting.
It is from a set called Prophecy.
Oh, wow. I have
Yeah.
a prophecy that this card looks like goblin poop. If goblin poop and a T-Rex had a baby. Grappler, beast. Well, it doesn't have a
There you
subtype.
go. Yeah,
But
it doesn't have a subtype, but it's not creature type goblin.
Yeah, exactly.
Creature type beast. Very surprising.
Very. Okay, ooh, this art. Oh, I really want to show you this one. Okay, okay, hold on.
I'm very excited.
There you go.
Oh,
Isn't it cool?
Look at this. Okay, what I'm seeing here is a person who is wearing like a very tall, fancy hat that also has like several what look like potentially medals on it, or like some kind of like emblems, right?
keep
That
my
say that
medals
they
on my
are
hat.
important.
Yeah.
Including one that like hangs in front of their forehead. They have an earring in an ear. They're like a little older, but they're not like wrinkled. They're more older where they've gotten kind of gaunt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
wearing like a very luxurious robe.
Great robe.
Really great robe, holding a very fancy looking book. It's like a beautiful, huge red book with like this spiral white print on the cover. And then they have like a lot of science equipment around them. They have like a telescope in the background that's looking out the window, kind of. They have like some, like a beaker and tubes.
What is this?
There's like a weird, suspended from the ceiling. They have what looks like a taxidermied, like primordial dinosaur type thing.
Great.
This art is really excellent.
Isn't
I'm
it cool?
a big fan of this.
Yeah, I was excited to show you this one. Okay, the name of this card. Do you want to guess?
I'm gonna guess that it's some kind of like scientist.
Okay, I mean you're pretty close. I guess you could even be right. The name of the card is Tallest Researcher.
Oh yeah, like a researcher. Great,
Yeah,
tallest researcher. Okay, but what is it? I'm going to say that it's so hard. I feel like this could fall in almost anywhere on the color pie, but I'm gonna go with it's a creature. It's 3 and a blue. And it says that you can tap it and discard an artifact to draw 2 cards.
Wow,
it's a 2/2.
That's a great guess. Okay, this card is a 1/1.
Oh,
And guess how much it costs?
wow,
4 and a blue.
4 and a blue for a 1/1.
For a 1/1.
Okay, I wasn't that far off on mana cost.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what it does. I'm going to read the Oracle version of this text. This old card. Tap, draw a card. Okay.
Okay.
Pretty
great.
good.
Yeah.
Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared.
Wow. Okay.
So originally said on your turn before you attack, you may tap Tallest Researcher to draw a card.
Oh, all right.
So
nice.
I would definitely play this card.
Yeah, this card is excellent.
This is very
You just get
good.
to tap it to draw a card?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So this comes from, it's been printed twice, once in Masters Edition 4 and originally Portal Second Age.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Isn't that a cool card?
It's a very cool card. The art on it, I highly recommend looking at the art on it. It's really good art.
2 good arts today in different ways.
Yeah. Ooh, and I like this flavor text. From time, knowledge. From knowledge, power.
Yeah. We've got that. We had 2 true bangers today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey everybody, we've got Judge Rob here.
Yay!
Judge Rob is joining us to talk about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate and new planeswalkers from that set that you can use in Oathbreaker and then adapt to Commander.
Yes.
Welcome, Rob.
Thank you. I'm really excited because they printed a bunch of planeswalkers that say this can be your commander on them, which is a cool line of text because it means you can build one deck that is both an Oathbreaker deck and a commander deck.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So we're going to talk about the Oathbreaker side, but then you just add like 40 random cards in color, and well, some of them should be lands.
Oh
yeah.
Not just,
It can't be too random.
Yeah, it can't be too random. But like for the most part, you could just add a bunch of reasonable cards to any of these and make them into really sweet commander decks, and then have fun in either format.
And you can then you only need 1 deck box, and then you just take out the ones that aren't the commander when you want to play Oathbreaker. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep. And if you want to be super lazy, you shuffle the library and just take 40 cards off the top.
That's my style, Rob.
That's how we. That's how we
Thank
all.
you. That's how we do here.
Although, why did
otherwise-
you shuffle? Why did you shuffle 100 cards when you could have only shuffled 60?
It's true.
Rob, for people who don't know what Oathbreaker is, can you give me the elevator pitch?
The elevator pitch. So this is fast commander. You play with a planeswalker as your commander instead of a legendary creature. You have a signature spell that you can only cast while your Oathbreaker, your planeswalker's on the battlefield. Those both start in the command zone. And the other thing is that you only start at 20 life. And games end reasonably quickly in the format. You attack a lot, your deck is a lot more focused, and with the lower life total, things happen faster.
So everybody's at 20 life.
Yeah, at 20 life, there's no commander damage, even for Gideons, because they were already at 20. Why would you need to deal them 21? You killed them before you got to there. So it's a format where you get to play planeswalkers and signature spells.
Okay, great. So what you've done, Rob, here is build us, which has been very gracious of you, 3 Oathbreaker decks that can easily be adapted into commander decks with the new planeswalkers from Battle for Baldur's Gate.
And this wasn't just me. I want to be clear. This was some of the Weird Cards group that hangs out in Rochester, some of the rules committee for Oathbreaker also built these decks. I adapted some of them because I looked at them and was like, this is like 75% of what I want.
Yeah.
But they were really great about this.
Rochester, Minnesota. Either
Yes.
you're working for Mayo Clinic or you're playing Oathbreaker. That's
Or
what they say
both,
about the
because
Or both.
most of the rules committee works
Works for Mayo
Mayo.
Clinic? All right. Fair enough.
Just the truth. So we're going to kick things off with Meghan's deck that she's chosen.
Yes, this is Elminster. 3 white blue for a legendary planeswalker, Elminster. 5 loyalty. He has, just some static text that says, whenever you scry, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn cost X less to cast, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. +2, draw a card, then scry 2. -3, exile the top card of your library. Create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens
Cute.
with flying equal to that card's mana value. Elminster can be your commander. Elminster is great. Got a real Gandalf vibe going on.
Big time
With
Gandalf vibe.
very powerful stance. Very powerful wizard stance happening in this card.
He's one of the classic fantasy wizards.
Yes.
He's been and done everything, including a
Yes.
priestess of Mystara.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
And he knows it. Based on this pose, he knows it.
he
He's
knows
like,
Yes.
my name is Elminster. I'm a classic wizard.
Love his hat.
So this, and this has the signature spell of Finale of Revelation, which is from the Finale cycle back in Amonkhet. Blue X sorcery, draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library, draw X cards, untap up to 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation. But of course it just goes back to its little happy zone, where you can cast it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pedantic. This is from War of the Spark.
It's from War of the Spark, my bad.
War of the Spark.
Okay. Do you know what?
Rob, you wouldn't be a true judge
okay, fair
if
enough.
you were not pedantic. I'm just going
that's
to put it
fair.
out there.
That's fair.
I see Nicol Bolas and I think
Amonkhet.
Amonkhet. Yeah, exactly.
It's either Amonkhet or War of the Spark. You
Yeah.
had 50-50.
It's the last time that we saw him. And then, of course, it has one of, in this case, my favorite scryers of all time. Just one of my favorite creatures of all time. One of my favorite cards.
Wow.
Prognostic Sphinx. This is back from the original Theros block.
OG.
3 blue for a Sphinx who's a 3/5 flying. Discard a card. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Tap it. And whenever it attacks, scry 3. This card is just so good. Look at the
It's great.
Sphinx's beard to start with. Look at it's enormous. It's an enormous beard. It's a Sphinx. It protects itself. So I love when you're playing like a more control or spells oriented deck, you can just play one creature and then just make sure it stays there.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about it. And then of course, scry 3 with Elminster. I'm now casting my next instant or sorcery for 3 less, which is like quite a bit. So, obviously that's amazing with my Finale of Revelation. Just chuck 3 cards in there already.
Yeah.
Rob, can I just say, I think it was dangerous to put this deck in Meghan's hands.
I understand.
worried.
Like every time I looked at it, I was like, all right, I'm just going to add more things that say like scry. All these creatures should scry, right?
yeah,
like,
for
You just want to
sure.
look at your library forever.
Yes, exactly.
Meghan will always know what 6 cards she's drawing and in which order.
Yes, exactly. Why leave something like that to chance? Your draw step is so important. Why leave it to chance?
Great point.
Can you
Yep.
imagine you can then I scry with my little Sphinxy friend. I can cast Tamio's Epiphany for a single blue.
Gross.
That's
And then
scry
scry
4.
4.
With scry 4 and draw 2 cards. And now my next card costs 4
4
less
less.
to cast. Absolutely
And
incredible.
this is without plussing Elminster, right?
yes.
Because then you plus Elminster.
And then I scry 3. Is it scry 2?
You scry 2 from
Scry
Elminster.
2 from
So it's
Elminster.
2 + 4 is 6 off your Finale. You're getting there.
Yes, amazing. Then there's cards like Inscription of Insight. This is 3 and a blue with kicker 2 blue, which also has scrying. Multiple choice, which also has scrying. You
Yes.
could just choose all the choices for multiple choice and still only cast it for a single blue.
Very usually.
Why
That
would
was-
you not want to?
That was my take. I think the best card in the library, you're kind of downplaying. You looked at Mystic Speculation,
Yes,
right?
Mystic Speculation. This is a single blue with buyback for 2. Buyback means that when you cast it, like you also pay its buyback and then you just put it back in your hand.
Great.
So you just do it again.
Single
and again
blue,
and again.
scry 3.
And it scries 3.
Yep. Which means that your next Mystic Speculation costs single blue. So you could just cast Mystic Speculation like 5 times.
Again and again and again and again.
Wow. This deck is filthy. Absolutely blue player filthy.
Yep.
Yeah, because buyback is an additional cost, right?
Yep,
So it's
exactly.
like reducing the cost
Yes,
already.
exactly.
Amazing. Really incredible. Really incredible stuff.
Rob, who is this deck for?
This deck is for somebody who wants to attack with some flying creatures and like play 5 spells every turn.
Yes. And draw cards. Like,
And
let's
draw
not.
cards.
And
Yeah.
draw cards.
Like, scrying is great. And
Yep.
then you get to draw cards.
Yeah.
The ultimate
it.
end game.
Yes.
Yes.
My suggestion, if you're expanding this up to be a commander deck, is you add in some more buyback spells because those are really sweet. So you play like Whispers of the Muse. You play like you'll play like Inviolability, which says that prevent all damage that a sorcery of your choice would deal you this turn, because you're going to have your costs reduced a lot.
Yeah.
From a lot of these spells. And then you play some more prowess creatures. Right now, this only really has Stormwing Entity as its prowess creature. It could use a couple more.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
It could use a bunch of spells and a bunch of prowess creatures. It's
It also has Thassa, God of the Sea.
Yes.
I just
You
love
love
Thassa.
Thassa.
Thassa's
I
so
do.
good.
I love Thassa. You automatically are scrying on your upkeep. Baral, Chief of Compliance, who makes your instants
Yes.
and sorceries cast
Yes.
cost 1 less to cast. Just really good stuff.
The there's a couple new cards as well from Battle for Baldur's Gate. Wizards of Thay is my suggestion. If you take a look at that.
Oh,
down
yeah.
here. Like
3 in a blue for a 3/3 Myriad, which is
Oh,
great.
yeah, the new mechanic.
It makes
Or
copies.
new.
Returning, yeah. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. What if I attack with it and then I have 3 copies of it for
Yep.
each of my opponents, and then my spells cost 3 less to cast.
and it has another line of text.
And you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash.
Wow.
Just really nice.
so it lets you
stuff.
finale during your combat.
I'm just horrified over
What
here.
a time. What a time.
The other new one is the Sapphire Dragon, which is a great new adventure.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, new
Psionic
adventure.
Pulse.
Yes.
5 blue. This is a 5/6 flying whenever it attacks or blocks. Scry 2.
Sick.
And then Psionic Pulse, which is its adventure instant, counter target non-creature spell. I love it.
Yep.
You love
It's
love
everything
it.
that you want on a card,
Exactly,
right?
it
It
really
counters
is.
their
Get
it
one
counters
for
their
every
Oathbreaker,
season.
it counters their signature spell. And then like after you do that, you get a 5/6 flyer. Sure.
That also scries to excellent. Why not?
Everybody, if you're just listening to this podcast, by the way, the links for these will be in the show notes. So if you want to just crib our notes, crib Rob's notes,
Yeah, steal these
Exactly.
decks.
notes, you can.
Look at them while we're talking about them.
Look at
Yeah.
them while we're talking about
You
them.
could
yeah.
be like, Megan, why are you not talking about my favorite card in this? And then name another card that's for some reason not Prognostic Sphinx.
It's
You
fair.
can. I don't know why you are, but okay.
Because I want to cast Graven Lore. I've never cast
Okay.
that spell. It looks incredible.
Ooh, Graven Lore is a very cool
Yes.
spell. That's fair. I also do love, because of cards like Graven Lore, this is all cold lands.
Yeah, it's
But
all
which I mean,
snowlands.
Snowlands.
Yeah.
Cold lands.
Cold
Yeah.
lands.
Mostly because Merit Lage's Slumber is
yeah.
incredible, right? Like you play a
Yes.
lands, scry to reduce your costs. Someday you'll make a 20/20. Like
Yeah.
I love Merit
We're
Lage's
not,
Slumber.
we're not worried about when it'll happen.
Yeah.
Just someday.
you actually want it to stay in the battlefield as an enchantment that scries every turn.
Oh,
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about my deck that you've
Yeah.
created here, Rob.
Tasha.
With Tasha the Witch Queen. Hello, yes, excuse me. Have you all seen this card? She looks great.
Yes.
Just gonna point that out.
Tasha the Witch Queen of Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Indeed.
Yes.
You may know her from her hideous laughter.
Yes. and her Cauldron of Everything. Don't
Yeah,
forget
that's
the
true.
Cauldron of
right.
Everything.
Cauldron
Yeah.
of everything.
Yep.
She costs 3 blue-black with 4 loyalty planeswalker. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token.
Delightful.
That's her static ability. Her +1 is draw a card. For each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard and put a page counter on it. Okay, -3. You may cast a spell from among cards in exile with page counters on them without paying its mana cost.
Wow.
She could be your commander.
Yes.
Great. So I love her because she's just casting other people's stuff, which is just very mean and rude. And I think that's very cool subterfuge. And able to just draw cards, take cards away from people after they've cast them yourself. And then, of course, make a demon in the process.
Yeah, just free demons.
Free demons. Who doesn't want free demons? You know?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exile all of Meghan's spells.
Yes.
Hey.
Exactly.
Cast them myself and make a demon.
Hey.
Yep.
My demon babies from Tasha. And I've got a signature spell, of course. And this is Predator's Hour, 1 and a black for sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at and play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Great.
Spicy.
I love how cheap this is, just
Yes.
for 1 and a black.
Yeah, 1 and a black. So oftentimes you'll be able to like hit with a creature and then immediately cash it in.
Oh, I love it. This deck is so mean. And
It's
normally,
spiteful.
like, normally I'm not the kind of person who's like, I'm stealing your stuff, I'm casting it myself. But there is truly no greater feeling in Magic than casting your opponent's spells.
Beating them with our own hands.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Like-
so
There's something about it
there's
that's
just
just really
something about it. And we've had wonderful cards which have allowed us to do this in the past. Like Thief of Sanity is in this deck.
Yes.
Do y'all remember
Yeah.
Thief of Sanity? Because the name couldn't be more true than this card, because it steals your sanity for sure whenever you get hit with it and like you see it and you immediately want to kill it.
Yes.
It's just perfect flavor feeling for this. So this is a 2/2 flyer for 1 blue black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest into their graveyard. That's even meaner. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled and spend mana as though it were a mana of any type to cast it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thief of Sanity.
They need a single like short term for like you
Yeah.
can spend mana as or mana of any color to cast this.
Yeah.
Right? Like because that's a long sentence.
Sure, I'm gonna use the flavor, the flavor text word to describe it.
Yeah.
It's called jerk move.
Yeah.
Then
Jerk move.
Jerk move.
Well, no, but like sometimes you'll like be able to do it with your own cards. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
well, we'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. Jerk move is pretty good though. I like that.
This also has Night Veil Spectre,
Oh,
which is
yes.
a throwback.
Yes.
One of my favorite. This is from Gate Crash.
So
Yes.
good.
Way back in the day. Hybrid blue, 3 hybrid blue black. So you can cast it for blue, 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 black, 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 any combo of those 3 things. 2/3 flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. You may play cards exiled with Night Veil Spectre. I just have fond memories of hitting people with this card.
Yep.
And
this
stealing.
saw a lot of
Ex-
standard play.
Exactly. Stealing it.
This I love how you found all of the cards that do this, Rob, because we also have Gonti, Lord of Luxury,
Yes.
Yeah.
in
I
here
love Gonti.
stealing for you to cast. We've got Rankle, Master of Prankles,
Yes.
in here as well, because this deck is very prankful, if I were
Yes.
to classify it.
Prankful.
Very prankful. We have Siphon Insight as part of this as an instant
Yes.
as well, which
Oh, yeah.
is a powerhouse.
Honestly, it's the card design for Tasha.
Yeah.
Like this card just screams play me with Tasha on it.
Yeah, you get to steal cards and you can flash back, do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
you can
really
in the
nice.
early game you can make land drops and in the
only
late game
2
you can steal
mana.
their best cards.
Yeah. I love this deck. It's so rude. It is so rude, Rob.
Have you ever commandeered a spell?
Yes.
I haven't.
know you
I was gonna
commandeered
say
spells.
I really got to commandeer some spells.
I just really like this deck. It's got tiny little creatures, which I like. They're doing extremely rude things, which I find
Yes.
very cute. And Tasha's here like, yes, I'll give you a reward, demon babies for every
Yeah,
time that you do
free
this.
demons every time that you do the thing you wanted to do anyway.
Exactly. Tasha's like every time you're mean, I'll give you a demon.
Yeah. And this is when I play multiplayer games, especially like board games, when I play them, and if I have some kind of role assigned to me or whatever, I will play.
I can testify
That-
to this.
yes.
Maria
Like-
disappears.
I've become like a horrible dictator that is willing to just completely salt the earth of their own people to achieve like the end. you
Trying
know?
to play King's Dilemma with Maria was just like throwing yourself into a brick wall. Absolute refusal to cooperate because her people were not a cooperative people in the game. So like it wasn't gonna happen.
This card says I'm uncooperative. I'm sorry. I
Exactly.
can't.
It was like basically Maria was like, no, my card says that I hate you.
So
You're like, Wow.
There it is. There it is. Have I ever told this story where in 4th grade we were playing a game where everybody was the leader of a different country and then you had different resources?
Yeah, like a model UN kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my country was a country that had all the nuclear power and all the nuclear capability.
Don't give you that.
We didn't have any food. We had nothing else. We just had this. And I remember like assuming my role, and I like was standing up on top of a desk with my pen in my hand, ready to drop it as if I was going to nuke the nearby country if they did not give us a food supply. And I'm standing there like this, and there's a knock on the door, and like the school secretary comes in and she's like, Maria, you have your dentist appointment?
Oh no, did you drop it and leave?
I didn't have to drop it because they acquiesced to my demands.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, what I'm trying to say, specifically in multiplayer, Tasha, thank you for giving me this gift, Rob. How would you upgrade the Tasha deck?
So if I was expanding out Tasha, what I would do is I would add more ninjas and more ninja enablers. So just like there's that 1/1 fairy for single blue that scries when it enters the battlefield and has flying, right?
Yeah.
And so you get to play a bunch more ninja enablers. There's a couple of ninjas in the deck, but I would just have a whole ninja tribal package that I would just add right in.
Cool.
Because what Tasha wants you to do a lot of the time is just have some reasonable pressure on the board and then steal your opponent's big payloads.
Right.
Which is what I would just be trying to do all the time. I would also add, so the library for Tasha has a lot of staple removal spells, which is really good, and I would just add like another like 6 of those.
Yeah.
Just that you can interact more. Because you really need to be able to like remove a blocker so that you can punch through for some more damage.
Rob, what deck have you chosen for yourself?
I'm looking at Minsc Boo, Timeless Heroes. So Minsc Boo are a dynamic duo from the Baldur's Gate video game series. In this case, they are green-red 2 for legendary planeswalker Minsc. When Minsc Boo enters the battlefield, Minsc Boo Timeless Heroes enters the battlefield, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. So he has a pet hamster.
Great.
It's a miniature giant space hamster for those who are unfamiliar with Boo. +1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature with either trample or haste. -2, sacrifice a creature. When you do, Minsc Boo Timeless Heroes deals X damage to any target, where X is that creature's power. If the sacrificed creature was a hamster, draw X cards.
Wow. Really cruel, though.
Really cruel.
So cruel.
Go for the eyes, Boo. But Boo comes back every turn.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm a degenerate, so as the signature spell for this, I picked Berserk, which is, it's not on the reserve list, which is always kind of surprising. Single green instant. Cast Berserk only before the combat damage step. Target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is its power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn.
I feel like Rob's going to win this game in 2 minutes.
Well, that's the goal, actually. So, like, the line is, like, you cast Minsc, make a Boo, go to their turn, they kill your Boo because they're jerks. You make a free Boo on your upkeep, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But you put 2 +1/+1 counters on Boo the previous turn. If they don't kill it, then you're just like, all right, Berserk from as a signature spell. Berserk again as a signature spell.
Yeah.
Like, 4 doubles to 8 doubles to 16, face that player that didn't have a blocker, and then -2 my Minsc Boo to 16 that other player and draw 16 cards.
Great.
That's
Great.
like
Rob,
that's
you're banned from our group.
probably like this is plan A. It's at the same mana cost as Minsc Boo itself,
Yeah.
so it's like very doable if they don't kill your Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
I decided to. So one of the things that you can do is make other things hamsters in order to draw a bunch of cards from them. You can do this by having changelings in your library. So there's 2 changelings that have trample or haste. They're not very good, charitably. So instead, I decided to play a bunch of like good legendary creatures and a couple of artifacts, equipment that make things all creature types.
So if it's not originally a hamster.
If it's not a hamster, it just thinks about being a hamster, and now it is.
Now it is. Which is how it worked for all of us.
Yes.
If you want to be a hamster, think about it
just
right
think
now.
in your
about it.
mind.
Now
You
you're a
are one.
hamster.
And so you can equip Rune Stalactite or Amorphous Axe in order to make your creatures all creature types. Hero's Blade is very cool with Minx as equipment because the Boo token that it makes enters the battlefield, and then Hero's Blade automatically equips to it.
Ooh,
it says
great.
whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. Equipped creature gets +3/+2, and it has like an equip cost of 4, but I don't know if this library will ever be able to play that because it has a whole pile of legendary creatures.
Yeah.
Everything but its mana docks are legendary.
Oh, that's cool.
The other thing to call out is it plays a bunch of giant growth effects. Giant growth itself, infuriate, groundswells +2/+2 or +4/+4 if you played a land this turn. And it plays invigorate, which is a free giant growth. Your opponent gets to gain 3 life. That life does not matter because you gave your creature +4/+4 for 0 mana. And so it just plays a pile of legendary creatures. I'm just a huge fan of the legendary tribal theme that you can do in green-red. You just play a bunch of these. You can play Bard class, which is one of my absolute favorite spells of all time.
Wow.
So Bard class says it's one of the class spells from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. Legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. So your boos are always bigger. At level 2, cost green-red to get there. Legendary spells you cast cost green-red less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. But it makes things like Golly of the Endless Stance free. And then from level 2 to level 3 is a green-red 3. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn.
It seems really good here.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You can, it's just a pile of cards. Like, you're playing a very fair Bard class. If you're playing this in Constructed, you would build a Bard class deck that just, when it levels to 3, ends the game on the spot.
Yeah.
But you just get a bunch of free stuff. You get to play Arnie Brokenbrow, who's very cool. He's another haste legendary creature. You get to play Surfair and the Henge Hammer, who loves to have counters put on her. And then just a bunch of just reasonable low to the ground legendary creatures. And then Mox Amber so that you have additional mana.
Wilson, Refined Grizzly.
Oh, Wilson Refined Grizzly. Yeah, he's brand new, right? So he's super cool. He's drinking a potion. He's just so happy about it.
You know?
So he's a legendary creature, Bear Warrior, 2/2 for green and 1. He can't be countered. He has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. He has Ward 2, so he's hard to kill. And he has you choose a background, which we don't care about in this context. Because, like, you just want a bear that they can't kill.
Yes.
And he's just great. He's very fun. He's from Battle for Baldur's Gate. He's one of the exciting cards.
Yeah.
I love you, Wilson. So, Rob, how would you upgrade this deck into Commander deck?
So if I was upgrading this into a Commander deck, I would add some other more interesting legends. I'd add things like Kolvori, God of Kinship, that pays off your legends. I'd add Reki, History of Kamigawa, who rewards you for casting legendary spells. And I'd add a little bit more mana ramp and a couple more payoffs. Because I don't feel like when you don't have Berserk in the command zone, you don't have the ability to just pay off and instantly kill an opponent.
Sure.
There's a bunch of other Berserks. There's a Berserk from Ravnica City of Guilds that costs 3 mana. A lot of power doubling.
Fling.
Yeah, Fling. Having some more Fling effects would be nice. I didn't feel like I needed to because I could just cast Minsc and kill people on the spot.
Exactly.
But you also probably need some more Bard class or Beastmaster's Ascension kind of stuff in order to reward you for having a big pile of things.
Wow, Rob, these decks are awesome.
Yeah, they're super fun.
I'm excited. I think that we should probably get them together and play them at some point.
Yes, I
I
think
agree.
we need to, because I just really need to drop that bomb,
Yes.
that I didn't get to do in 4th grade.
You will not believe the way that Maria will disappear. She's not there.
I look forward to you cackling maniacally as you take our spells.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I have to. I'm
Yes.
playing
Yes.
Tasha, and
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
hideous laughter. Anyway, Rob, if people want more information on Oathbreaker, how to play it, what the rules are, what the ban cards are, where should they go?
Head to oathbreaker.com. We've got all the information on the format up there. You can check it out. We have information about the ban list, an article based on what we discussed last time. We'll probably have an article on this one as well.
Yeah, great.
And so you'll be able to just check out stuff related to it. Yeah.
Great. Rob, thank you so much for coming in and showing
welcome.
us these great decks. They seem so very fun. And remember, the pre-release for Baldur's Gate is coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the set releases on the 10th, but the pre-release is this upcoming weekend,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can get your hands on these new cards at pre-release or in the release on the 10th.
There's Commander Draft at this weekend's pre-release,
Yeah.
which is weird and cool and fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have a good time.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Rob.
Yay.
Everybody, as we round out the month of May, we're celebrating Ultra Pro's Color of the Month, which was Pacific Blue.
Yes. And to celebrate Pacific Blue, we have for you the trailer from the obvious hit that you will remember, Deep Pacific Blue Sea.
Tell me, Mr. Franklin, have you ever known anyone with too many magic cards to store? What if you could end all that suffering with a single binder? This is the most advanced Magic the Gathering accessories research facility, and it's underwater. Why? Tell me there's not one behind me right now.
Ultra Pro used gene therapy to make its binders bigger, but as a result, they got smarter too. They're breaking off their shelves and they're coming for us! Just what the hell did you do to those binders? Hey, if you want to take your big binder and trade with it, you go right ahead, Missy. Me, I'm opening this door and I'm getting out of here. The hell you are! Aggro can be lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to combo. Now, we've all seen how bad things can get and how quickly they can get that way, but they can get a whole lot worse. So we're not gonna fight anymore. We're gonna band together to take down the combo player at this commander table. First, we're gonna...
Ultra Pro Pacific Blue accessories. Bigger, smarter, faster, meaner.
Well, everybody, I hope you're terrified.
What a film.
What a film.
Why did they spoil one of the biggest surprises
Moments
in the movie?
film? I don't know, but
I don't
they did.
know, but they did.
Trailers, they just tell you everything these days,
Exactly. If you want to watch that trailer with your eyes, if you're only listening right now and you want to watch it with your eyes,
Yes.
head on over to our YouTube. You can also see it over on our Twitter at GLHF Magic.
Yeah, because it must be seen.
Yeah,
It
the
truly
wigs,
must. The wigs alone.
The wigs must be seen.
Check out Ultra Pro if you want some Pacific Blue accessories or any color. Truly, they have the entire rainbow for you to buy over there. You can click the link in our show notes. That'll take you right there. It also automatically give you 5% off. But if you want to also manually enter the code's GLHF for 5% off whatever you buy over at Ultra Pro.
Yeah.
And we cannot guarantee that your merchandise will not brutally attack you.
Yes.
In an underwater facility.
But just don't build underwater facilities. I think that should go without saying. All right, Maria, are you ready for some story time?
I am.
Okay, so last we heard, remember Elspeth was working at that laundry and like there were the goons from the maestros who came into the laundry and like beat up the laundry person, and she was like, hey, don't do that. I'm Elspeth and I don't stand for this. And then they chased her and then she beat them all up.
Yeah.
With like a giant steel girder or something like that.
Do.
Exactly. And then Angelo, who is the right-hand man of, or the right-hand devil. Yeah. Right-hand vamp. Right-hand vampire
Right-hand
of
vamp
Xavier.
Cool. Yeah.
Was like, hey, come work for the maestros. We can give you, like, she was like, I don't want Halo. And he's like, that means you're not from this plane. And she's like, shut up, you don't know anything about me. And he's like, I know that. Anyways, and she's like, I want history. And he's like, we can pay you in history.
Oh, that's right. Okay, great. Getting paid in history.
Yes, exactly. So Elspeth has just been basically working as a cataloger in the New Capenna museum that is run and owned by Xander. Sorry, I called him Xavier earlier. Xander and the Maestros.
Great.
Right, so she's just been like looking through all this stuff, and most of it she's just like, this is old stuff.
Librarian mode, Elspeth.
Exactly. So she's just in here like cataloging, being like, sure, this is a painting of a
wearing
thing.
her glasses and her hair in a bun.
Exactly. Oh, I would love that art of Elspeth.
I know, that's what I'm like,
wearing glasses and her hair in a bun and just
just
doing
cataloging.
Her job. Okay. So then Xander comes in and Elspeth's like, I want more info. And he's like, okay, but you've just been doing like easy cataloging work. So I'm going to give you some tests of your loyalty and of your ability. And she's like, I don't want to kill anybody. And he's like, calm down. I'm not going to ask you to kill anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. And as always, Xander is like actually pretty great. I'm a big Xander fan.
A Xander fan, a Zan.
Exactly, right? Like he from the beginning has just been like, remember when he like dressed Anhello up?
Yes.
And he was like,
Gave him a nice
here's
suit.
here's your great outfit. You're my right hand man. I don't care that you were late. And she's like, I don't want to kill somebody. And he's like, I'm not going to send you to kill somebody. Usually if you send someone to kill a person, but the person doesn't want to kill, it's going to end poorly. And you're like, that's just
great
good
point.
leadership,
It's a great
Xander.
point.
Really good examples of positive leadership
I'm just going
environments.
to give you this Scantron and this number 2.
Exactly. It's just going to be a test. Not quite. But first he like gives her a package and he's like, okay, go to the Mezio, which is, like the middle kind of section of the tall sideways stories from Wayside School building. That is New Capenna, or space that is New Capenna. And so she like drops it off at this place. And she gets back to Xander's office and he's like, good job. And she's like, how do you already know that I did it right? He's like, don't worry about it. Anyway.
Because it was a bomb and you killed 5 people. Ha ha, I tricked you. You did kill.
No. Anyways, so then she was like, okay, I did your job. Give me some info. And he's like, okay, so back in the day, our city was founded when archangels and demon lords brokered a deal together.
Okay.
Because they had to work together. And so Elspeth is like, that's surprising. And he's like, yeah, it's a real the enemy of an enemy is my friend type situation.
Sure.
And Elspeth's like, who is their enemy? And Xander was like, I don't know. I'm still looking. And Elspeth is like, in her head, she's like, it's Phyrexians. I know.
Yep. That's
She
what I was
doesn't tell him
thinking.
that because I guess he maybe wouldn't even know what to make of that information.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he's like, okay, so what was happening is that like there was a threat to the plane and the angels became like absolutely consumed with the defense of it. And that like eventually the demons also had to join. Like the angels were not winning the battle. They were losing the battle. And so the demons had to join too. And once they joined and then they were able to like battle them and defeat whatever this secret enemy was, the demons appointed the 5 families to take over the city, and they drafted a pact with the head of each family, which is why each of the family heads is part demon, right? Like demon is a Xander vampire is what I just said. Xander is a demon vampire, right?
Right.
Like Rafine is a Sphinx demon.
Yeah.
So they're all part demon.
I was wondering about that.
And so Elspeth is like, so you were there when they founded New Capenna? And he's like, yeah, but that was a very, very long time ago. So don't ask me about it. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah,
Anyways.
because he was like, my memories of the time are fuzzy. I don't know why.
Exactly. It's like, no, because he signed a pact, became part demon, also head of this family, and it was ages ago. And so Elspeth's like, oh, the angels and demons disappeared. Did the threat disappear? And he's like, well, we're here, aren't we? And you're like, exactly. Anyways, so then he sends her to like another job where she just like tails this woman who like leaves one cabaret, and then like follows her, and that just happens. There's like, there's like a small skirmish where
That just happens.
There's a small skirmish where she gets attacked by a pack of raccoons.
Great.
Actually happens. She has to run away from them. Like the raccoon like pulls out a knife. She jumps into this alley and this raccoon comes out and is just like, hey, fresh meat. And Elspeth's like, get off me, you rat. And the raccoon is just like, don't call me a rat, you jerk. And then they all the other raccoons show up and draw knives and are
Great.
like, don't talk to us like that.
I'd be like, this is so cute. I cannot fight you.
Exactly. That's basically like Elspeth does not beat up raccoons. The raccoon with a knife jumps at her and she just like grabs it by the scruff of its neck and chucks it away and is like, I don't have time for this. And so
I wish that would happen to
she
me.
runs away. Anyways, and eventually sees the informant, gets to where she was supposed to be going. Great. And then when she gets back to Xander's office, she's like, give me a weapon. I was attacked by raccoons. Anyways, I'm trying to remember. I think that he gives her something.
A bag of trash.
Exactly.
Here you go. This will work.
I'm trying to remember. What does he give her? Whatever. They have a little drink of Halo. He pulls them out of his desk and gives them each like a little tiny champagne
Is this her
glass.
first Halo experience?
Yeah, it is her first Halo experience. And she's like, it seems like mostly it makes her feel warm.
Been there.
I don't know. Oh, and it also, like, it makes her feel nostalgic. So even though
she
it's
just
not
had some
alcohol,
brandy?
it is just alcohol.
Okay.
Anyways.
Sure.
No, and she is also, okay, it's not actually because she's like, oh, like, I feel stronger. My senses are sharper. Like, I feel like this
Okay,
this
so it's
surge
alcohol
of magic.
plus the opposite of alcohol.
Exactly. It's alcohol plus the opposite. Great stuff.
Great.
Anyways, then he sends her to a park to like drop off a package, and while she's there in the park, she runs into Vivian.
Oh, Vivian.
Who she doesn't know, it seems like.
Oh.
But they're, classically they're both just like, hello, you're a planeswalker, aren't you? We both have the vibe.
They can feel the vibe.
We both have the strong vibe of being planeswalkers. Okay, cool. Anyways, and then Vivian's like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Vivian's like, I'm here for... No, Vivian's not there for the Gatewatch. Vivian's like, I was here looking around for my own stuff, but I am also kind of here, trying to find out stuff for the Gatewatch now, because she doesn't say that she found Tezzeret, but we know that. But they both kind of are like talk around, hey, we both know that Phyrexians were once here. We know that there's danger here.
Yeah.
The Gatewatch wants us to come here to talk more about it or whatever. And so they're just like, very nice to meet you. I will see you later.
Okay.
Anyways. And then she goes back to Xander's office, right? This is just her like passing these tests.
He sure has a lot of boxes for her to drop off places.
I know, he really does. It's like classic, nebulous mob stuff.
Yeah.
Follow this person, drop off this package, wait in a park, and leave this package there and make sure someone picks it up, etc., etc. Anyways, she gets back to Xander's office and he's like, what do you know about the adversary? And she's like, I've never heard anything except his name. And he's like, the Cabaretti have a way to produce Halo, they claim, which is a way around the adversary who is stockpiling all of the Halo.
Milking angels.
And therefore stockpiling it and like disrupting the balance of power in New Capenna. And he's like, so what I want you to do now is you are going to infiltrate the Cabaretti.
That's why she needs that nice dress.
Exactly. And she's like, okay, let's do this. I'm ready to go. And he's like, no. I'm going to give you a fancy outfit because that's what I do.
That's what he does.
That's my jam. He's like, you can't go anywhere looking like that. So Elspeth gets real fancied up with some help from Xander, who just has the best hobbies in the world.
Great.
All right?
Great.
This is why you become a kingpin, so that you can tailor perfect clothing for your friends.
Oh, it seems so nice.
And you can read museum books in your free time, okay?
Great
He
life.
knows why you want power. Those are the reasons, all right? Anyways, so Elspeth, like, heads into this cabaret bar and is like, hey, I'm looking for a job. And the bartender is just like, get out of here. I don't just, like, what are you doing? This is the worst infiltration of an establishment of all time. He doesn't say that, but she's like,
here's his W-2.
Exactly. Anyways, Elspeth is like, but I really want a job. And Rocco, the caterer, who is the person who is working as the bartender, Rocco, they're like, I only have Halo. And Elspeth's like, please give me a job. And they're like, no. quit badgering me. I'm a bartender / caterer. This isn't really my cup of tea. Anyways, but while Elspeth is there being like, hey, I'm hassling the wrong person right now.
Elspeth.
Kit, who is the friend of Ginny Faye, who's like Ginny Faye's friend, the singer Kit, is like, do you know what? I know someone who's gonna like you. And what's your name? And Elspeth's like, Elspeth. And Kit's like, Ginny Faye loves old weird names like Elspeth. I don't know.
All right, sure, I'll take it.
And so Kit is like, come on over here. I'm going to introduce you to Ginny Faye. Ginny Faye, this is Elspeth. And Ginny Faye is like, oh man, I never met an Elspeth that wasn't etched on a gravestone, which hints at the fact that Elspeth was from here.
Yeah.
Right? And she has like an old Capenna name.
Where she died. How many times
I don't
has
know
she
if
died?
she died there, but right, like Elspeth is like an old Capenna name.
I see what you're saying.
Which is very cool.
Gosh, what a thing to say to somebody. I've never met a John whose name wasn't etched on a tombstone.
I know, imagine.
It's pretty cool.
That'd be spooky. Anyways, and they're like, this is Giada, and
we milk her for Halo.
I mean, I do think that is going to be where their Halo comes from.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Elspeth is just like, okay, cool. I'm very lucky. I walked into this bar, harassed the bartender who told me to get out of here, but I somehow ended up being friends with Jetmir's second in command, Ginny Faye.
All right, so even if you're bad at subterfuge, if you're Elspeth,
sometimes you can just be good at it
you just
anyways.
stumble into it.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, great. I'm excited for more of Elspeth's fancy outfits as part of the Cap Ready. Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five.
Wow.
Thank you once again to Judge Rob for coming here and filling our brains with Battle for Baldur's Gate knowledge.
Very cool. Yeah. We had a real fun time. We learned about what's happening over on Streets of New Capenna.
Yes.
You know, Elspeth getting dressed up fancy. Really, the biggest takeaway from that story is just that Xander
really loves giving outfits.
Exactly. Xander just knows what's going on. I don't know that I've been this big of a fan of a Magic character in a long time, but the story is
Meghan
really...
is on Team Xander.
They've really fleshed him out in a way that I think is excellent.
Do you want to know a dream that I woke up from screaming last night?
Yes.
I just thought of this because story time, sleeping.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, you all now get to hear this. It's going to be short. So I was having a dream that I was doing laundry, but in this dream, the laundry detergent you use was like Dippin' Dots, like little pellets or whatever. And in real life, I have semi-recently gotten a bonsai tree named Columbo, of course. And I had bought fertilizer pellets for him. And they're just little pellets you put in his soil to help him live his best life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in my dream, I'm doing laundry, but accidentally in my Dippin' Dots laundry solution had been a bunch of the fertilizer pellets that I was using for Columbo. And I was so mad that I was going to have to pick out all this dumb fertilizer in order to do my laundry that I woke up screaming, no!
Wow. That's very random.
I mean, it's so dramatic.
It's very dramatic and just very strange.
Have you ever like woken yourself up screaming no from a dream and it's about something as mundane as doing laundry?
No. I only scream about laundry when I'm actually awake and doing it.
Yeah, see, it's just really odd. Anyway, I thought you all deserved to know that.
Yeah.
You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Becoming a patron before next episode. We'll give you a shout out on the show. You can join our Discord. It's a really cool place to be. I want to give an update too for everybody who donated to our abortion funds fundraiser. We're going to start packing those packages up this week and starting to get them mailed out to you. It's going to be a long process though.
Yeah.
But I just want you all to know that it started. So hopefully don't, sit on your hands waiting for it. But we've got a lot of people to get through, which is great. And we're going to start the process this week. So it will be coming to you, everybody. Just hold your hats.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ultra Pro and Card Kingdom for being our sponsors.
Thank you to all of the excellent patrons and especially Michael.
Yes.
And we'll probably see you back here next week.
Ominous.
Wow. Well, I'm planning on going to an underwater research facility.
Oh, well, yeah,
so.
you gotta be careful in those things.
You really do.